Hello, hello, welcome back and welcome in. My name is Nikki Wheeler. If you're interested in gaming, go subscribe to my other channel and follow my Twitch to see my gaming live. Now, let's start this video. Today, I will be discussing Machine Gun Kelly. Most notable for his rapping career, he started in the early 2000s, but did not release a major debut until 2012, titled Lace Up with Bad Boy and Interscope Records. It was a hip-hop record consisting of 13 tracks minus the deluxe version. The album was a major success, having features like Lil Jon, Waka Flocka Flame, Black Bear, and more. Despite the long list of guests, Kelly stays in the dead center spotlight with his underdog rhymes and hard time tales. MGK has stated himself that it's everything my fans stand for. It's tattooed on our bodies for life. It's something that I can never explain to the general public because it's something beautiful that you have to discover for yourself. Even with the indie rock backing on songs like Stereo, with Fitz on the kick drums, crooning on the chorus, it's turned into a high power sex metaphor beneath MGK's frenzy of syllables. Now, all we have is an against all odds look at lost friends and family members that works in a go hard or go home message. At times, the beats are a little predictable, and the extreme flavor that runs through the album sometimes uses too many metal guitars or crunchy synths to accentuate its rage for me, but there's the occasional compound of melancholy heartstring pulling alternative hooks in his songs, as on the World Weary Running or See My Tears, that kind of even it out. Overall, the album was very well put together, and the features on it weren't for looks. The songs on it still carry the weight as it did then, and that says a lot. On his second studio album, General Admission, MGK finds himself massively growing as an artist with more rap rock oriented sounds and a smaller amount of feature rap artists on the tracks. General Admission seems like an acid trip from start to finish. It lacks that artistic weight, but it's proud to be unattractive, which, oddly enough, becomes this druggy downer's allure. It can be corrosive and coarse like Nirvana, and one of my favorite songs off this album was Gone. It features the singer Leroy Sanchez, who provides the haunting hook. The song talks about drug abuse and sidelining relationships throughout his career thus far, detailing things about his childhood. Now, is it a coincidence that my first instrument was a violin, that my father wanted for me so we ended up buying? And now the instrumental that we're vibing to got one high in it. And while I'm writing my first verse, he called me up crying. Overall, this album was definitely weaker than his first one, but it isn't his worst. I think it was deficient in the rage that we saw in the previous album, which made it good. It is more solemn, but still holds well on its own. But collectively, it is definitely a downgrade. Now, Bloom was the third album from MGK, and it was definitely much, much better, as it put some of the anger back into the songs that I liked a lot. It was a hardcore and contemporary rap album with iconic features like Camila Cabello, Haley Steinfeld, Quavo, and more. One of my favorite songs on this album was Go for Broke, a feel-good song on the trials and tribulations of growing up, whether that is literally or as a music artist. James Arthur being on this track made it 10 times better as he provides the chorus and one of the bridges. Paid my dues, so I'll see you later. Life is much more than paper, so I let it go. I just hit the road, I just let it go. In classic James Arthur fashion, he has a little bit of a mumble like most 90s rockers, and it sticks well to this song. It goes well with the beautiful lyrics that MGK has said earlier on. Surprisingly, the pair went well together and complemented each other. Listening to each artist separately, then bringing them together was definitely a culture shock, but I think it shows how versatile and multifaceted MGK is when it comes to his creativity in music. This song in particular reminded me of an Alessia Cara song, mainly because of the instrumental. It kind of sounded drowned out a bit, but still vibrant enough for the singer to be brought forward. Now, next I wanted to talk about Bad Things with Camila Cabello. Cabello interpolates Fastball's 1998 song Out of My Head, and the duo illustrates a hypothetical sexually charged relationship between two people who are content in their hedonistic ways and experiences. The contradiction of the innocence of the good girl character who has these certain feelings about the bad boy that she can't deny, along with MGK's rapping slower or what made this song just that much better. The song was a huge hit when it came out, so it was basically the only way I knew about MGK in 2017, like at all. Overall, I do think this album was one of the best ones he has released besides his most recent. Next is the fourth album, Hotel Diablo. MGK described it as a concept album on Twitter, with each single functioning as a different door to the soul. The first song I want to talk about was the lead single, Hollywood Horror. The song samples Linkin Park's Crawling as a tribute to the lead singer Chester Bennington, who died by suicide in July of 2017. I interpreted this song as a jab to the music industry, who is most definitely known for manipulating artists and comparing it to the prostitution in Hollywood. It is quite introspective, actually. The whole album is. It makes you rethink the fame and fortune everyone wants. And then on Candy, MGK drops a guitar lick in here and there, talking about drug addiction, but it's not until the album closer, I Think I'm Okay, that he truly captures the rap rock amalgamation that he has been chasing for years. But even with all of that, I didn't really like this album. There were maybe 3 or 4 songs on there that I could go back to and listen again, and even those were kind of teetering. I appreciate the sounds on the album because I do love the rap rock genre, but the lyrics on top of the music felt very unnatural to him on this album. He definitely got better with time, and that moves us into the fifth album, Tickets to My Downfall. This album was a full venture into the pop punk genre, which was a step in the right direction. The themes of self-destruction, tainted romance, and struggles with depression that were often visited on Machine Gun Kelly's earlier material translate almost seamlessly from tormented rap to heart-aching pop punk. His voice graces the music so much better, even though I do believe he should rap a tiny bit more rather than almost completely drop the genre for punk. I think of it similarly to 21 Pilots and how they are a pop punk and alt pop band who can definitely genre blend very well, including rap. I think if he did that in this album more, it would have been definitely the top tier album for sure. The album is a sincere and somewhat sentimental embrace of pop punk from the MySpace era for those who feel inclined to accompany it on its journey. Even when the 808 beats are swapped for sharp guitar riffs, MGK's personality remains at the heart of every single song. After the first track, the next couple songs are odes to being young and having fun, or at least appearing to have fun. I'll Grow Up Next Summer are lyrics that a lot of us can still relate to. Now, I wanted to talk about Bloody Valentine. It sees MGK hoping for something real with a lover, taking a noticeable departure from the wary attitude he possessed about betrayal on Hotel Diablo, stating, "I don't do fake love, but I'll take some from you tonight. I know I've got to go, but I might just miss the flight." My favorite on the album is Lonely Though. It is one of the most emotionally driven songs on the album, talking about how he wishes to have more time with his loved ones before their passing. The chorus is heavy sounding and you can feel the wave of emotion flood over you when listening to the instrumentals in the back, using that as a main focus. While it would rank a slightly above average album for any given pop punk band, there's an added excitement in how risky this about face is for a multi-platinum artist who could have easily turned in the same record he made last time. And now that definitely moves us into the sixth and final album so far, Mainstream Sellout. This album also includes Travis Barker on the drums, similarly to the previous album. These two aren't exactly known for subtlety, but their latest collaboration is painfully prosaic. Unlike past work, this album seems to be more fun and fatuous, which is fine, but for a sixth album and the one right before this was an entry to this new genre, I thought he would take it a little more seriously, at least to me. I would want to secure this spot in the new genre with 2 to 3 albums before trying to experiment again, but I do have to applaud him for the creative liberty he has. He made a valiant effort and pulled it off to some degree. I do really like this album collectively because it isn't as serious and it is different from his previous work, but like I said before, I thought it was too soon to experiment again. Sonically wise though, I can say this album is fire. Born with Horns and God Save Me feel kind of thin, but I did like multiple tracks even with that fact. Not a lot of artists have every single song be a hit for me. Some of my favorite artists like Marina or Panic at the Disco do have some skips, which is completely okay. Some tracks I did enjoy on this album were Emo Girl, which featured Willow, Makeup Sex with Black Bear, and Twin Flame. Emo Girl is a classic punk hit talking about falling in love with an emo girl. It takes all aspects of early 2000s punk and adds a piece of pop into it. Willow's voice just intensifies that punk slash emo with the way she sings. She breaks vowels to elongate words like girl, and it just adds so much character to her verse. It was made fun of on TikTok, but this track is definitely a top tier one on this album. The other song, Twin Flame, is written to the then fiancée Megan Fox, narrating his feeling of unworthiness of her love, and the title comes from the description of each other being twin flames in a past life. My favorite part about this track was the outro, just straight rocking the instruments. It was thundering in a good way to end the song because the lyrics were more weighted and slow compared to the rest of the album. And that brings us into the rankings. I do want to say this, I have not listened to pretty much any Machine Gun Kelly before this. I was recommended this topic, so I thought I would give it a try. So forgive me if some of this seems a bit one-sided or anything. I researched and listened to him as much as I could, and this is all first impressions. At number 1, I have Tickets to My Downfall. Then at number 2 is Bloom, and number 3 is Mainstream Sellout. I put this album so high strictly based on the fact that I love the instrumentals. The lyrics may be a little lackluster compared to past albums, but it still has very good potential. Tickets was above it because it came across like an established star taking risk with his sounds in the name of self-discovery. But Mainstream Sellout feels mostly like a middling attempt to further cross into that pop-punk genre, but this time lighter on the ideas and cohesion. But back to it, number 4 is Lace Up, number 5 is General Admission, and then finally at number 6 is Hotel Diablo. Machine Gun Kelly brings a good deal of cool lyrics that would appeal to the younger generation, which is why I think after he stopped doing the rap rock genre is when he shot to extreme popularity compared to a D-list celebrity he was prior. Overall, I did enjoy my time listening to his music and seeing him grow as an artist, but I hope his next album will take a step back and go to where he stands strong like Tickets to My Downfall. I will be listening to his 7th album when it releases to see if that happens, and that is where I will end the video. If you enjoyed it, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, bye guys.